move on with this news that came out of nowhere. And it literally was one day they have a meet, from what I can gather, they have a meeting and they tell the students and the staff that you have, first I heard it was until August. And then it's the end of June, and now it's tomorrow. You on some try and be morally right or whatever. And I'm not saying that morally right stuff that King was talking about. Right. That's different. I'm not talking about that, because ain't no way you putting women and the kids in front of water hoses and police dogs, and they don't give a damn. Excuse me. I'm a teacher, and if I'm not teaching your children, people have a right to come and say, "Hey, look, man, you're not doing what I need you to do for my child." But you have to be involved too, right? So you can't tell me as a parent, unless you're involved, that you're not doing my child right. I need y'all to correlate this to what's going on around here as well. You can't tell me I'm not doing your child right if you're not involved in the child's life on all levels. The issue that it is now is blatant in everybody's face. Yeah. It's blatant in everybody's face. So we're not sitting there talking about what can we do for residents. We don't care nothing about the residents.
Never about the residents.
It's never about the residents. And the issue that people are having that I see, and they still won't let me come down to the council meeting. When I'm out of school, I'm just going to go. Be out of school in a couple weeks. I'm just going to come to one. I don't care.
You lie.
All right. Good morning, family. How you all doing? Thank you all for joining us. We see Sister Kill, Sister Luna, Sister Hendricks, and Just a Thought, just hanging out with us early this morning. We appreciate you all around here. It's supposed to be a nice hot one. Mr. Behringer, and thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. So let's jump right in, because we started a discussion this morning off air. So that now that we're here, let's continue this discussion. Now, I'm going to let you want to lead in?
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sharing.
Oh, you're sharing? Okay, cool. We were talking about how people seem to give up, right? Because it seems like that there's a level of hopelessness that's going on here, because people are not seeing the type of movement that makes people want to continue to. Oh, well, we're glad you're watching. Good morning, Miss Mari E. That make people want to become involved. And my take is that if you don't see any real change from people, okay, Miss Luna says she's taking this. If you don't see any change from people that are supposed to be your representatives, then it's almost like, why do anything, right? And I've heard people, you all, us, I'm sorry, I don't mean you all. I got an opportunity to see Miss Biggs last week, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. First time I've probably seen her before, but first time I've seen her like up close, where I even have the opportunity to speak. And what we're lacking is community. What we're lacking is the desire, or and this is sometimes because I think that the rules have been changed, so you can't get somebody out of a position within 30 to 60 or 90 days. And so therefore, you have to go through this long process of a recall in the first place in order to get them out the way, right? So it's about a year before you can do anything. So that means they get an opportunity to sit there and do nothing, I guess, for this length of time. But can people go and file lawsuits about it? Sure, absolutely. The apathy that we were just talking about a few minutes ago, right? Because you said that the brother's not going to come around anymore.
No, I didn't say he was coming around no more. I said he was done as far as his act. What I'm thinking is activism here.
Right.
I just think he gonna help Miss Biggs. That's what I was talking about.
Okay. Well, I think, and I'm going to say this again, that many times when people jump into roles that they um, see, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's, have you studied the lay of the land yet? Right. So what's happened here, and Dr. Claude Anderson talks about it in his book, Powernomics, is that we've lost community anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've lost the opportunity, the ability anymore to say, "Hey, look, uh, you're not. I need you to act a certain way when you're around me, or when you're around us, when you're around people." And when people, like somebody said, we've lost the identity of a village. So in older times, and not too far, long older times, you know, um, everybody made sure that if like, oh man, you cut your grass today, I gotta get out here and cut my grass.
Mm-hmm.
Your yard not gonna look better than mine. You know, now through manipulation, we've gotten to the point where guess what? You know, all that stuff don't matter. I can live how I want to. I throw trash on the ground as I'm riding. You know, there's a trash can right there, but instead of me taking 2 seconds to make one extra step to walk and throw this in the trash can, I'm just gonna drop it on the ground. They'll get it. Who cares? I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So when you create the type of excuse me, you all, careless mentality, then what you end up doing is you have a carelessness that people adopt, right? And I've said this before, as an educator, if I'm standing in front of 15, 20, 25 students and they the level of support that they have shows that I really don't care about them playing basketball. I mean, them reading and writing because my son's going to be a hooper, or my son's going to play football, or my son's going to do this. And education not important. Decorum's not important. I carry myself's not important. Only thing I'm banking on is that my child is going to get this, and you're not going to impede his progress for me in any way, shape, or form. So when I have a heated discussion with a parent who's not concerned about the educational process, not understanding that as this person continues to navigate from whatever grade I may have them to whatever level, and they're not able or actually able to navigate those higher levels, then what does his being able to play basketball mean, or football mean, or become an entertainer mean? That means he gets the opportunity to be used by somebody. But if your only concern is how you get out of your situation that you put yourself into, and you're looking for somebody else to dig you out, that's problematic because your only concern is what that child's going to do for you in your future and not theirs. So if we parlay that into what we're talking about here, it's the same thing, right? So it's I don't see that people that I voted for or were voted in based upon who supported them, who's going to be the one. They don't represent me, so why should I care? Only thing I should be able to care about is um, what I have going on for myself here in my little space, not the young people up the street, not the people next door, because most of the time we don't even speak. We are absolutely a me state of mind, right? Sister Kill says that we seem to be in a me state of mind rather than a we state of. But we have to understand that has been programmed. That's programming. Okay, I gotta get this. What's the name out here? I'm gonna tap that. I'm gonna get in trouble, but okay. So that's been programmed into us. It's been programmed that we're no longer community. It's been programmed that we're no longer family, that we're no longer a village. Good morning, Miss Lynette. We appreciate you. Thank you. This has been done by design. And the crazy part is how come people don't see that? It's real simple.
Facts.
This is not difficult.
Facts.
And people have the power to change it. Other people may have implemented, but you have the power to change it. And the silly part, the immature part to me is it doesn't require you to do what I do and go sit up and read when you, oh, I may go to the local spot over there where they sell cigars at, and I got a book bag instead of socializing. That's me. I'm not saying people got to do that, but all you got to do is open your eyes. It's real simple.
Yeah, it is. But why we make it so hard?
Because people don't want to. Other people might get offended because you say that you're not for me because we look alike. I don't care if you look like me. If we don't have the same agenda, then we're not the same. And it's okay that we're not the same. Just stay out of the way. So this is an easy fix. This is really, really a simple fix. The issue is that people don't want to fix it, and there are other people that are benefiting from our misery. Okay? As insane as Charleston White seems because of the way that his delivery is, which is, he even said that. Like, this is done by design, and everybody else makes money off our misery. And we're the ones foolish enough not to understand that.
Facts.
Whether it be here in 2025 or a long time ago, it's the same thing. Oh, you must be Big Otis.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. What's going on, Mr. Johnson? It's the same thing. It's that way across the board. If you Black and you live in this country, if you African in America and you live in this country, then you're going to get this certain treatment unless they let you trickle in. That too is done by design. How in the world do you go from 1865 to 1874, 75, when you're about 19 million people on here, 16 million people are in school. Once we get off the plantation, we build freedom schools, we build HBCUs, we buy HBCUs, we buy schools and turn them into HBCUs. 19 million people, and the 3 million people, or 3 to 5 million people that are not in school are either they too old, so they stay home, or they too young and they can't go to school yet. But everybody sits around, and we started that where you sit around a dinner table and everybody comes and give the lesson. Well, tell us what your learning was today. And we sit at the dinner table, and after dinner, you get your books out, and you teaching everybody in the family how to read, how to write, how to do math. Because you're the one that's in school, and we put our hopes on you. I missed that comment.
I'll put it back up from Yolanda Corbett. She's from the DMV.
Okay. So how do we miss that? We've let that fall, right? Unspoken truth. Absolutely. I remember seeing it. You're absolutely right. Right. And that's an important documentary to get. It's called Unspoken Truth. You might be able to catch it on the streaming platform. But we bought that. We bought into that. We bought into the fact that they said that we can go and buy the White House with the white picket fence around it, and be just like them. But yet we built communities. Remember, we talked about this before. There were over over 60 individual communities that we built outside of the cities that were self-sufficient, and they destroyed them with no repercussions. Why? Because the intention was to destroy you, and we didn't want to leave and go nowhere because we were told by Frederick Douglass that we built this country and we should stay, instead of listening sometimes to Martin Delany say, get your stuff and leave. That's what Martin Delany did. That's what W.E.B. Du Bois did. His later years of his life, he said, I can't stay here no more. This place is never going to change. So if we're going to be here, we don't have community anymore.
You got a point.
So then, therefore, you got people that are in control of the politics across the board. Okay, that are across the board that are saying, okay, well look, and they feed us this idea that as long as one of y'all get in, then I don't see the reason why the others of y'all don't do the same thing that the one did. Because if the one is kind of a sellout and come around, hey, I don't have an issue with kicking it with people. People are what people are. But I know where I go back to home at. I can kick it with you. No problem. But guess where? Guess where I got to go back? That's where I'm going back to. I'm going back to the dungeon and the library. You feel me? I'm not sitting around here trying to, we're going to go to the pool parties, and I ain't doing all of that. I'm a skier. I ski, right? And there are a lot of people that look like me that ski. I don't even hang out with them because they about partying and whatever. And for me, it's something else.
I feel that, though, what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? I go in it because I enjoy being outside, but I'm also either I got a book, like when I'm downtime and Wayne skiing and we just out chilling or whatever, or I stay in the room and I'm reading. But that's me. I'm not saying everybody's going to be me. They're not. But at the same time, it can't be all party time all the dang time.
Right.
See, that's what we want to do is all the time party. Now, you had 10 people that come out for Juneteenth. You got 200 million people that's going to be celebrating 4th of July. We independent. Independent of what? Where you free at when you have poor education? When you can't go through some town, even here, go to Perry, Michigan, which is on like going to Owasso, 69 West. Go over there and see how much they let you decide that you think you free over there when the sun look like it's going down. You better not have to stop. You better get your gas before you go and hope you don't have a flat tire. Or when you get back to wherever you're going, you better pray when that light come on. Don't stop through there. And when this is 2025, I had that experience when I was going to school in like the mid 90s, early 90s, going to Michigan State, had a flat. Man told me, hey, look, you got, go back there and turn that big compressor on. You got about 10 minutes to get that tire aired up and get out of here. I'll never forget it. Walked in his garage, and he stood there watching me. Turn that compressor on and aired this tire. And I had a uniform on, so he didn't trip out because I was coming from work, going to school. So I had on the uniform. But he still watched me. And it's 30 years ago. It ain't changed.
But people that try to tell you it has, though.
Yeah, of course. They want to sell the narrative that it has. And then we're dumb enough to buy the narrative.
No, we buy it every time. It's like because my biggest beef, and I'm gonna just say it, I get sick of us. See, it's easy for us to call each other out.
Right.
But we not calling out was really to control this thing, and it's the system, how this stuff is set up.
What have we been talking about? What's the premise of the show in the first place is the system.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it be personal or whether it be listen, oh my God. Why did they start making Cadillac cars? Then they started making Cadillac cars in the late 40s and 50s to market. They started marketing, especially in the 50s, to preachers and entertainers.
Blacks.
Yes. Because if you had a Cadillac, you made it.
Facts.
That ain't changed.
No, it ain't.
That's marketing. It's a marketing strategy.
Right. And I've been working on that stuff too.
I know. I already know. I know.
I've been going through it. I'm gonna send them over to Trevor today.
Tuesday gonna be hot.
Yeah.
Tuesday afternoon gonna be hot.
Yeah. Because I mean I get it, but it's like it's the system even. And what I mean, you see, yeah, even Angela Ness, Lydia McNeely, good morning. Angela Ness is correct. Black people saved Cadillac during the Great Depression.
Okay. So the Great Depression was in the late 20s, 1929, right? So they marketed the car to you in order to make you think, feel, and believe that you become successful now. And if you didn't have a Cadillac, you wasn't there. So if we look at the level of marketing that they've done, the level of propaganda, right?
Facts.
The very first piece of horrible propaganda that was put on Black people was Birth of a Nation 1915 by Cecil DeMille. Cecil DeMille. And they consider that to be the 100 greatest movies, or a completely racist movie where you had white characters in blackface that stereotype Black people. If you all come to Michigan, go to Big Rapids. I think it's Ferris State and Big Rapids, Michigan.
Yeah, that's right? Ferris State.
Ferris State. Okay. They have in the library, downstairs in the library, the whole bottom floor in the basement, which is cool, the Museum of Racist Memorabilia. And you see all kind of stuff. This dunk tank thing was where a Black man had to stick his head through a hole and people threw baseballs at him. Now it's a dunk tank where you hit the little target and people fall in the water. That came from that. Gator bait, where they wanted to catch gators. They took a baby from one of the mamas, an African woman who had a baby, threw it in the swamp water so that the gator could come so they could shoot it. That's where gator bait come from.
Where'd you think they did hush puppies come from?
Man, but see, African people created that. When they were running away, they would make these little balls and fry them up when they knew they was getting ready to run away and drop them down for the dogs to pick up to eat so that they would hush and they wouldn't catch up with them.
That's why I brought it up.
Yeah. But we still, and I don't, like, how can you be part of a system that doesn't want to do anything but destroy you? They gave Native Americans, real ones, not the fake ones that want to be Native Americans, because now you whiter than Europeans. And I'm not trying to be funny. Go look at the history. Broke every single treaty, every single one, threw you on the plantation. 1832, they wrote a document called Manifest Destiny, where we're clearly going to go from one side of the country to the other side of the country, and we don't care who we destroy. We don't care. Buffalo soldiers. Where do you think they killed all them buffalo for? Starved the Native Americans out. Now, people don't want to talk about that part of the history. But that's where it comes from. We had our own towns, and minimally 60 of them. Tulsa being the one that we talk about the most because it was blatantly bombed. No different than what happened in 1985 in Philadelphia, where the African people decided that they were going to take a 4-block area, create their own system in which they live, community. And because the government of Philadelphia felt that it was a threat, they bombed it. 1985. The group of people were called MOVE. And it didn't stand for, they wanted them to be, they're terrorist group. No, they weren't. They're a group of people that didn't want to live in this system anymore. They want to control their education, raise their families, all of these, everything necessary and essential to their own lives.
Facts.
And because the police department didn't, police commissioner didn't want that to happen, because now all of a sudden you got no crime there. You got higher level of education. They created, we got their own health care. We got a barter system where we didn't necessarily need the outside system. We get all of this, and you didn't want it to be, so you just blew it up. Anybody that made the decision to blow them up was never prosecuted. Never.
Just go look how they did Fred Hampton.
Right. Oh yeah, you in a bed with his wife. No, was he in bed with his wife?
Pregnant wife.
She was pregnant.
Pregnant.
I don't know if she got killed or not.
Nope.
Okay. Shoot him 21 times while he in the bed asleep. No evidence. But none of the police officers were ever convicted. Now you're convicting them because you kind of sort of don't want to have so much public outrage, right? But the men that killed Eric Garner, no police, nothing happened. The only reason why that they convicted Derek Chauvin that killed George Floyd is because, but I don't understand how in the hell you gonna have all of these people standing around with cameras, but you don't pull a goddamn police officer off of them.
I can answer that question for you.
Okay, so you're gonna shoot me? How many bullets you got? And then how much you think that's really gonna cause a problem? But yet you got people standing there taking video, and other people standing guard as police officers saying, "Oh, it's okay to kill him because we're useless."
Can I give you an example? Let me show you an example. And we can just use this simple. An elephant. A big, they have him on a chain so much when he was a baby.
He was a baby.
Then they put a rope on him.
Yep.
And what he think it is.
Yep.
They didn't have us. We convinced that what the police can do no wrong.
Right.
So that's why you would see people scared. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They'll see the police in the wrong whooping ass.
Yep.
And you know what they'll do? We lucky they pulling out the cameras. Used to be that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yep. Yeah. Well, see, when you have people that started a crazy, insane movement in 1966 in Oakland, California, that said we were going to police the police, and they're called the Black Panthers for self-defense, and it was about defending what was going on in the community, and they did more than just watch the police. They also made sure people were educated. They also made sure people ate. They also made sure people had medical care. They had all of their 10-point programs. We're going to take care of us. But you walk around here carrying guns, whether now all of a sudden Ronald Reagan, y'all favorite president, is the one when he was a senator or the governor in California in 1966, 67. He said, well, you can no longer have guns in public. Well, Dr. Huey P. Newton and Brother Bobby Seale challenged that. You have guns.
Yeah.
You have guns. How come we can't have guns?
But now they put the guns in the baby's hands who ain't got the mental capacity to understand.
But that's done by design. Ain't no reason. You and I got to go someplace and put a gun and buy a gun, and you got to get it registered. But most of the stuff that these young people are picking up out in the streets is not registered, but it got to come through somewhere.
Yeah,
it's got to come through somewhere. Somebody got to buy them. I mean, how did they get on the streets?
The guns.
I don't know. I mean, I just threw mine out the window so somebody could pick it up and lay it on.
Facts.
And it's registered back to me, so hey, I ain't quite sure how that happens. And I ain't filing off no serial numbers because I ain't got time to file them off. And I'm being facetious, but come on. You mean to tell me we can? Oh, how did drugs get in here? Which one of us got aircraft carriers and airplanes in order to bring drugs in our community?
Oh, well, they got it right down there on Alexander and Gillespie.
Oh boy!
Yeah, they got the plane right there, the runway.
Oh, they're playing in the runways right on down somebody's roof.
Yeah.
Oh,
right there.
They flying them drones. They got drones.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. Come on, man. There's anything happen to Oliver North?
No, I think he served two years, and then he was exonerated.
They got to make millions.
They got the writing books and this and that and other and all
TV
that
shows.
stuff. All of that. Lived his life. If he's still alive.
Yeah, but look, Rick Ross had to go do damn near 20-something, almost close to 30.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But so that shows you the disparity between what this unjust system, who's not no justice for us, shows you. But they tell us that. So then why do we keep on giving them our time and our lives? Why? Why we keep giving them that?
Because we got that chain on us. They done took off and put a rope on us.
They put a piece of floss on your little toe.
And got us locked, sealed, and delivered.
Man,
baby.
You just going to keep on because it makes me a man to go to prison. I ain't no man.
Yeah, because if you go look, see, this is what I want our people to understand. I'm talking to the blacks now. This message is strictly for the blacks. Go back, like I'm hearing a lot of people talking about this birther thing right now, birth citizenship.
Right.
That's been on the books.
Right.
Go back and look where it's at. Now everybody complaining. This is what we mean this is what I was meaning why I say every 25 years we gotta vote for blacks to be able to vote again.
Yeah.
Y'all don't see nothing. Y'all don't see nothing wrong with that. And people talking about birth citizenship. Go look who was that made. See, a lot of them laws was made for me and you when we got here. When they were saying we was only 3/5 of a man. We've been fighting a long time to get justice. A long time to get what we fighting for now. Better housing, better jobs.
But at what point in time, why are we fighting and not creating them ourselves?
Because we got that cloth on our toe.
Man, they took it off and just put a piece of grass across the top of your foot, and you say, I'm just locked in. I just got to be stuck here.
Yolanda cutting up on here. Yeah. Dogs are loyal.
Right.
And that's a fact.
And not really. You got to watch some of them too.
Because they'll bite you.
Man, you do something wrong to the right dog, and guess what you got?
Because it's crazy to me. And I'm not going to get the person name who I be having these conversations with. Like they told me, this system always going to make sure they gonna get their vote to get what they want.
Okay, so if we're clear about that, then we have a choice. Yep. Then don't vote, which if we know that doesn't mean anything based on what we just said, right? If you know it doesn't mean anything, cool. But that doesn't mean that I can't go over to Miss Ida's house and cut her grass.
Facts.
That doesn't mean I can't. Hey, Miss Ida, you good? Okay. And I'm saying this to pat myself on the back. I'm one of those persons that if I notice that hey, you straight, something ain't right over there. Come knock on the door. Hey, you need your grass cut you straight. Yeah. Okay. You ain't feeling well. Let me I'll cut the grass for you. No problem. Oh, you ain't ate that? Okay, I'm cooking. I got you. Let me fix you something to eat. Let me bring over a plate. That's community. I don't care nothing about your business and the reason why you're in a situation unless you want to tell me. And then what we do, and this is also something else, the reason why people don't say nothing, because we're ignorant enough to go tell, because we live in fake reality television in our goddamn heads instead of fucking living like we're supposed to. Yo, you get a little spice this Sunday morning for y'all folks that travel to church. Y'all church. Okay? Stop. We got to stop doing that bullshit. We sit up there, basketball wife. None of you motherfuckers can't even play basketball. What is y'all saying? And you're a basketball wife only because of what you gave up.
Half of them don't hear it.
Thank you. So therefore, we know that you're a sideline basketball wife. And you ain't even a wife. But if you sell people that this is how you have to act, if you have to be hyper emotional and this and another. This is the narrative that they're giving us. And we buying into it. Listen to the music. The narrative of the music. Do drugs, smoke, sleep with everybody, drink, this, that, the other, lean, all this other stuff. all this other insanity. And then we wonder the reason why our children act the way that they do. And I'm not saying not raise your children. Raise your children to be greater than you. I try to raise my children so they can go in any circle with anybody, anywhere, and people go, okay, that's Brother Elliott kids.
Mm-hmm.
And if they have people around them, they have to act the same way, or they might. Especially my daughter, my oldest daughter, bro. She don't play that. You didn't get a chance to meet her yet, so when I get to drag her down here, you met the baby girl, but you ain't got a chance to meet my oldest daughter. Very cool, very low key demeanor. She watch everything, and if it don't feel right to her, she move away from it. She moves like her, like kind of sort of like really like me. I talk to a bunch of people, but I don't hang with a lot of people.
That's me.
See, that's probably the reason why we don't hang out with each other yet, because it's because of how we move.
Yeah, no, I do. I be around a lot of people. I mean, I talk to a lot, man, but I done kind of fell back.
Yeah,
you know.
Hey, thank you, Ms. Corbett. Yes, the great emancipator, as everybody called him. That's the reason why people voted Republican. Okay, it wasn't because they knew. Black people were illiterate.
Facts. Go back and look how we was dressing. Go back and look where we was living in huts.
Right. So there, and then when we got the opportunity to change the narrative, look at how we were dressing and how we carried ourselves then. Every invention in this world comes from us under systems of duress, under warfare. Lawnmower, hair straightener, make for you so you can see, fix your heart so you can live. Light. The Thomas Edison, who was given credit for creating the light bulb. 1,000 times he tried to do the same thing over and over, 1,000 times. And when he finally met Lewis Latimer, who said, you know what? This is what's missing. A little element that they still use in every single light. In a vacuum, glowed. Lewis Latimer and his family get cut out of the fortunes that Thomas Edison and a new company called General Electric, GE, cut out of fortunes 1,000 times. Well, and this, I try. You have to continue to try. I never failed 1,000 times. I continue to try, and that one time is when everything became, the light came on. Really? But when you met this man, you took advantage of it. Henry Ford, who did not invent a car, he invented the idea of mass production. But even he said, it wasn't me, it was the people I had around me. Go back up and put that quote up from about the great emancipator. I want to hit on that. The person who he got the idea from the car was Patterson, who was in Ohio, who invented the motorized carriage. He got the idea from him. Meanwhile, Patterson and his family have nothing. And Ford, who created the idea of mass production, is the one giving credit for the car. There's another man who we talk about, Orville and Wilbur Wright, who supposedly invented the Wright Flyer for airplanes. Another man who invented in North Carolina, who invented the airplane first. And they copied the idea.
The Wright brothers did.
Yep, he did his airplane like 1899 or 1901, and they did theirs in 1903. They had twin engines, and he had a single engine. He was very clear how the design of the wing was made in order for it to fly.
Mm,
But who's giving credit?
the
So when
writer.
we sit around here talking about DEI and they taking jobs from us, well, but okay, look, I'm gonna say this again. If if your grass need to be cut and I see that you ain't cut your grass because you may be super busy, hey man, I got you. But what we want to do is, hey, you know what? I'm brother Elliott, and I went over brother Mickey's house, and his house looked like his grass was tall and whatever. And I went over there and cleaned it up. And I'm not saying this to I'm talking him out, but not really. That's the reason why people don't say nothing.
Facts.
But hey, brother, how you feeling? Oh man, I ain't going. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go tell. Hey man, brother Mickey, he going through some stuff. We ain't gonna help him, but I'm gonna dog him out. That's the reason why. Because we've been taught how to be vicious towards each other instead of saying, you know what? Come here, let me help you. Let me shut my mouth. I'm doing that out of my humanity. But that's not how we operate. We got to go tell people that we've done something to help somebody else out because we want likes and clicks and all this other BS, especially now. Because it wasn't like that before. When social media come on, hey look, they go look at brother Elliott is downtrodden and beat up and whatever, and I help clean him up and not that he needs some help. I just want to put my arm around him and saying, I dragged him through the trash because I want y'all to like the fact that I did something. Instead of doing it out of just humanity and care. All right. Well, okay. Where do we go? But yeah. So yeah, there it is. So even Lincoln said that there must be a position of superiority and inferiority, and I am as much as any other man am in favor of having that position assigned to the white race. So he wrote a document only because he was trying to stop the bloodshed. That didn't mean he favored y'all to be us to be equal. And there's all of that running away, and we give credit to Harriet Tubman and whatever. Black people ran away more than anybody helped them. I want to talk about that. You got all of them black people in Canada because we were like, hey, Harriet didn't get to help us. We gonna run off ourselves.
Facts. That's a
Not
fact.
knocking her.
No.
I'm not knocking her.
Right.
You have the whole province of Nova Scotia that's mostly black because people's like, hey, look, we got to get the hell up out of here. This is crazy.
Yeah. I can tell you, get that book called Sanctuary, and you'll get the understanding like why people was dipping.
Yeah, we have. What we doing? How in the world are you going to stay in a system that's destroying you, killing you, raping you, and you want to be okay with it? And it hasn't changed.
No.
It's just changed the form.
Yes. I agree. I mean, but that's the stuff that you see. That's why I say this system. When you battling this system, look, man, I don't care what nobody say. When you I'll give you an example. How the government celebrate Martin Luther King, that ain't how they were celebrating him when his last years on this last week on this planet.
Listen, the only time, and I had this discussion with this sister, a beautiful sister that's my sister, that is Sister Kill, you're absolutely right. We've been talking about that. That's the premise of the show. That the reason why they gave King a holiday versus Malcolm a holiday is because that was a safer two options. How are you gonna celebrate somebody that say separate instead of somebody say integrate? If you say integrate, that means you're gonna still give me your money. That means you still want to be with me. You say separate, that means you want to continue. You want to cultivate your own culture.
Right. Just
go ahead.
No, you telling the truth. They always go get somebody that they can. What was the word you just said? Integrate fires. If you go look at fires who more docile, let me say it like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like because I remember my father used to tell me about because he was big into baseball, but the Negro League.
The Negro League, man, they was making crazy money, beating white teams, all of that.
Yeah, and he told me, he said, man, it was way better players than Jackie Robinson. Man. But he said Jackie Robinson the only one that had the discipline that you could hit him with a baseball, do this and that to him. He said, he said, Mickey, He said, man, there's some brothers, man, that you'd have did that to. Like, I forgot what baseball player. He said, Young Blood or something.
Josh Gibson was one.
He said, man, he said you'd have to kill them niggas. Right. That's the word. He said, man, you have to kill them, man. They weren't gonna let no white person treat them like that.
And Josh Gibson was one.
But they broke him.
Yeah. Well, what they did was they chose him, number one. Mm-hmm. They also understood his position as a black man who, in this country, playing this sport, but he was also trained into the idea that this is what's going to happen to you. Right. They're going to call you names. They're going to say this. They're going to do these things to you, but you just got to endure because for a bigger reason. So now it's the owner of the Dodgers who did that to him.
That's a triple fact.
Yeah. So the owner of the Dodgers is the one who, because he saw money, right? You put these black players out here, and instead of having the Negro leagues, now we're going to integrate them into this, and then they're going to turn baseball into something else so we can make money from. But yet black people couldn't come and sit in the stands at white games with black players on it. Mm. So yes, where's my sister? Sister Kill? Yes, this is a whole complete system with layers upon layers upon layers upon layers, backed by white supremacy, and it is what it is. And y'all don't start. If we sit around here and start talking about this colorblind, we're fools, and so is anybody else that believe that bullshit. Because that's exactly what it is. This is not a colorblind place. It hasn't been colorblind since people understood that there's absolutely no way the African people could build the pyramids. Look at the structure. There's no way. Well, because what did you do? You destroyed them. But we also have to remember this. When we talk about cultural things, cultures go in cycles. So when anybody could come in, the Ptolemies that came in, or the Greeks that came in and became the last sets of pharaohs, you had that culture at its end. You wasn't going to touch it at the beginning because they'd have destroyed you. The Greeks came in crawling on their hands and knees to learn from the African people in ancient Kemet. So when you have these fraternal orders and all this other stuff, and you only get 3 degrees, and they say the first thing that you get is 3 degrees, and this and that and other. And hold that up there. Hold on, go back.
Which one? This one right here?
No. Yeah.
Oh, this one. This one right here.
Where she live at?
DC. She do her show on Fridays.
Okay.
That's Yogi G.
Okay. I think I did catch that. Nope, not that one. The next one.
This one right here. Hold on, my bad. This one right here.
No, I do. I'm gonna get that Southern Manifesto. No, that one right there. Yep. I got you. Yep. Hold on. So if they're begging you to come in to learn from you, and it takes 33 years to become a master teacher in ancient Kemet or in the temples, and you could only withstand the pressure of 3 years, and then you go back and create these fraternal organizations that are based upon that, which is where we head. Y'all got to hold these thoughts. When we get to Tuesday, these thoughts are coming in, right? So your fraternal organizations they started in ancient Greece, which is the reason why even here, what did our fraternity sorority called? Greek organizations. I'm gonna put that seed in y'all head for Tuesday when we come and do Truthful Tuesday. Now,
they're gonna hate us on that.
Oh, baby. Now, once you do that, because you cannot withstand the pressure and the trials that it requires to become a master teacher in 33 years, because you had to do 33 years. See, I got 30 years. I still got 3 years to go before I can even consider myself a master teacher. What do they call them in Masonry? Wishful master, right? 33 years, not 33 degrees. It's 3 years of study, 33 years of teaching. So that's where they get these correlations from. You do 3 years. You can only do 3 years, then you leave because it's too hard. You start these fraternal organizations to study the 3 years of stuff that you get. And the only reason why you have the information that you do in Greece is because Alexander goes into a northern part of ancient Kemet, steals books from the library, bring them back, then burn the library down.
Alexandria.
That's called Alexandria. They named it after him. The Greeks did when they came in and took over the civilization on its dying breaths. The last great dynasty, the last great pharaonic dynasty was the 21st. The 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 25th dynasties were, the pharaohs were called Ptolemies. They come from Greece.
Yeah, the Ptolemies.
Yeah.
And that's when you get into the race mixing.
That's when you get into the race. Well, we got to go before that. Before that, you get the group called the Hyksos, called the Shepherd Kings.
Right.
That were in the Delta region.
Yeah, that's when the race. Yeah, gotcha.
But that's 3,000 years before that.
Facts. That's a fact there.
Okay, that's 3,000 years before that. And the only reason why they even get power is because they take their daughters to the pharaoh so that they can intermarry and get wiped out. They were kept near the Delta region, a very small space near the Delta region. You got to stay over here. We don't want y'all kind over here. So this has been something that has been a power play. So what did they do? They used they women. They used their children. Definitely women, because we wrote laws against that psychosis. In the admonitions of Ma'at, it's written in there 7 times about what you shouldn't do with somebody that's the same sex as you. Go read it. Or not lust after somebody else's wife or husband.
Yeah, when you go look at it, it's. I mean, keeping with racing. Go look what Jesse Jackson just said. Was it last year during the World Series when they had one of the games down in Alabama?
Right.
Remember, he called Fox Sports off when he said, "No, this is one of the most racist places."
Oh, you talking about Reggie Jackson?
Reggie Jackson. I meant to say Jesse. Sorry about that, Reggie. Yeah, he caught them off
when he went to play in Alabama for. Who was Bear Bryant was there as a football coach. And he talked about how horrible that racism is in baseball. So America's so-called pastime, right? How horrible it is for you to go play in southern states, even now.
Nah, it's rough. Did you see how that one player was crying, man? How the fan
talk
did
about
him?
his mother who passed away. So you can't tell me that we're talking about everybody's. You can have your bias,
right? Facts.
But if you express it to me, then I have an opportunity to respond. You don't have to like me. I don't care.
That's a fact.
You don't influence my life.
Facts.
But you don't have a right. And now you have a right to even decide that you want to express it, but you also have a right to get a response. And that's what people don't want to do. We're sitting here talking about the city council. F them, family.
I saw you caught yourself.
Yeah, I had to bite my bottom lip. I don't want y'all to have, shaved ears on y'all way to service.
I saw you caught yourself.
I had to catch myself. F them. Take control of your communities.
Facts.
I don't care. Oh, I'm a renter. So what? You still are obligated to keep the community up because somebody graced you enough to allow you to stay in a place that they own, and they expect it to remain the same way that you got into it. It wasn't messed up when you got into it. So how in the hell you gonna tear it up because it ain't yours? If you live a raggedy life, then go live in a tent somewhere. And we're not telling young people or older people, because we do it too. Older people, I don't care. I just mess it up. It don't matter to me. Oh no, you that baby. This ain't the show for them. This ain't the show for them. They ain't ready for this show. Some of them are, because some of them are on here. They always on here, and I appreciate y'all. But the ones that are a little bit softer, this ain't the show for them. And they'll be on and want to just like to be coddled and whatnot. But they ain't trying to get no hardcore learning when you got to go study. Because when I talked to Miss Deborah Luna, she said, "Look, almost all of the books that you put up on the manifest, she got them books. That's what I'm talking about."
I'm not Deborah Luna with it.
Yeah, she is. She is.
Deborah
Absolutely.
Luna, she with it.
Yeah, absolutely. But control your community. How hard is it to cut the damn grass? How hard is it to pick the trash up? How hard is it to say, I'm going to go help somebody because they look like they may need some help without wanting people to like you for doing it?
And that's where the problem lies.
Yeah, because we turn ourselves, how selfish little kids are. Go play with my toy. That's what we become, childlike.
Facts.
You're not godlike, you're childlike.
Facts.
Godlike is, I'm going to do it because I'm going to do it just because I'm going to do it. Childlike is, hey man, hey, give me, hey, I'm going to tell everybody I gave such and such a book. No. Because I want y'all to, like me because I gave somebody something. Like, look how many friends I got on social media. Yeah, don't nobody know you. Don't nobody know you. Stop playing stupid games. Playing games with yourself. Talking about people, this. I got 3,000 million friends all over the world. Nobody care nothing about you.
Facts.
Nobody care nothing about you. The only person that you got to worry about is you.
Facts. Sometimes
you wake up. I love my children. I don't like them all the time.
I don't like mine right now.
Right, see? But that don't mean let something happen.
Oh, for
let
sure.
Something happen.
Yeah, that's
bro.
We talking different now.
Now that's still right now. I may not like you. Yeah. I love you enough to come down there and destroy whoever decided to cross.
Yeah. But our parents didn't like it. I know I pissed my parents off so much, man. I'm telling you, they probably how did he get here?
Man, right. Oh man, damn, he slipped through heaven. How the hell did that happen?
Was going one thing and got a food.
Got a whole man. But we have to, like, when you plant a seed, you have to groom it to grow.
For sure.
Right? Groom to grow. You're not gonna get no immediate response from me. Man, I'm in my low self when I'm here and I'm a little person. I don't know nothing about no being in my higher self. Where y'all get that from? Because we don't have the culture in the community that says this is how you have to operate. Because you can't do it in church. Why? Because the worst devils is in church.
No,
you sleeping with this one, stealing from this one over here doing this, and you talk about that ain't no place of morality.
Sure, they ain't.
It used to be.
It
used to be a place of morality. I'm not saying they didn't do their stuff.
Facts.
Everybody learn how to hush secrets.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. Sister such and such. Got Bible study at 2:00 in the morning. Shh, be quiet.
The church tell everything. That's
everything.
Yeah, they tell everything.
But they also were the ones where you can have secret meetings.
Right.
You also were the ones that where Miss Ella Baker, and y'all need to go study her, was able to set up SNCC, CORE, SCLC, and many other organizations. Miss Ella Baker set up and designed and laid out the foundations for the Montgomery bus boycott and other protests in the church, and nobody would open their mouth because people weren't afraid because they were very clear what they were fighting against.
Right.
And who? See, now we think because we got friends that or associates or whatever you want to call it that don't look like us, everything is straight.
Mm-hmm.
No, damn, baby. Some of them people dead. There's no triage. They're the walking dead. What you say? They're the walking dead, baby. Triage means I have an opportunity to get well.
What you say? You said they dead.
They're the walking dead, baby. Because if you can't think for yourself, another problem that they have with me since I was a little boy is I was like, man, no, that don't make sense. And I would get in trouble for saying that in church because it did make sense.
Right.
And come on down. Come on. And my dad, 6'3", 275. Come here. We got to go to the bathroom. I ain't got to go to the bathroom. You did. Got my tail toe up. Hey, shut up. You can't say that in here. And that's what his words were, right? I got in trouble one time for listening to the sermon. I apologize for this. Let me apologize and beg y'all forgive me right now. I said, this is bullshit. And I got my tail toe up. Not because I was wrong, was because I said the word BS.
Right.
You can't say that in here. Come on. Go in the bathroom. Man, me in that bathroom was way too close. I ain't never had to go to the bathroom that much. Man, I stopped going to the bathroom at church when I could hold it.
Right. I was traumatized from it.
Right, that church bathroom in me.
I got took there.
I ain't got to, oh boy, I can't go to the bathroom. You got to go to the bathroom? All right, just remember hearing that? You got to go to the bathroom? No, I'm straight. I'll just hold it. Yeah. No, you good, because I know something going on in your head. Because I started to study when I was young.
Right. Now that'll do that. Man, my uncle Ed, rest his soul. That man used to be sitting up there. You didn't want to be sitting next to him.
Oh, yes, I would.
Man, he would be talking about how God talking to him. Man, my uncle used to be, I used to be like, why did I sit by him? Like, I used to be like, why I sit by him? Because he would be like, and other people be like, I ain't got to do nothing. He was one of them ignorant uncles. Man. You don't hush me. I'm like, man, this dude.
And that's the right one. And see, my dumb ass will be over there egging him on so we get in trouble. Man. We get in trouble.
I used to be crying, man. I'd be sitting, I'll put my head down and be like, because they'd be like, when he come, listen, man, this how my uncle was, man. Yeah, I know people know Ed Jordan. I remember when the pastor used to... Wait. Yeah, Ed Jordan.
Are you serious? That's your uncle?
That's my uncle.
Crazy as hell.
Man,
my God.
I remember the pastor used to come over. You thought he put his joint out?
Oh, no.
Okay. He used to tell him and my grandmama had so many religious wars. She'd be like, the pastor coming on. He could stay his ass outside.
You're right.
He only coming for money anyway. I'm talking about when he, like, when it came down to the collection plate. Man, he used it. Man, my uncle might have took some money there when they passed it around.
But not passing my way. Let me see a 50, 100 on top. I got gas money for the week.
Yeah, man, Ed didn't go for that. He was with
because let me touch on the reason why that's important.
Go ahead.
There's an ancient Kemetic idea of giving part of the things that you grow to the storehouse. Because in lean times when you need it, they can give it back.
Right.
Now what these clowns do is tell you to pray hard. You ain't praying hard enough. What kind of dumb shit is that? But yeah, we go listen to the same old stuff. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't have its element of goodness.
It do.
But at the same time, you also have to know that some people need something other than you come pray for me. If they turn my lights out, I don't need you to pray for me. Man, let me that money back so I can so I can go get me, because that's my money I put in. I didn't put that money in there because my good deeds and how I treat people is what get me back to where my family come from. Now, if I'm out here doing horrible things, I know I got to come back and repeat that and start that life over again. That whole idea of that come from ancient Kemet. So the storehouses for me during lean times, and a ledger is kept. Not, since you put in $3,000 and we need another $3,000, your seat got 2 legs on it. And your seat in the heavens only got 2 legs, and I don't know how you're going to balance it because your ass is not going to fit. No, that's not what it is. Okay. And the churches, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm done. I said my piece on that. But what has to happen for us is they're building up the street. If it's raggedy, can we get it torn down? If we can't fix it. But if we can fix it, and then we can use it for what we need in our community, how can we fix it if it's not too far damaged? Right?
Right.
We're talking about Miss Corbett. Right? If it's not too far damaged, how can we fix it? Because it's not hard to mix mortar and buy some bricks. Hell, I know how to do that.
And with all these with these blacks that know how to build these construction companies here, man, we don't know how to get them to.
And everything that's on you, you can find out how to do that on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Use it for more than entertainment too. Use it as a tool to learn stuff.
Thanks, Trev. He said the thumbnail up. He got your thumbnail up for today's show.
Appreciate it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stop waiting for counsel or counsel person. They're not relevant. They are not. They're controlled by someone else. So going down there, I bet if you people don't go to counsel meeting, they'll, oh, what's going on? People, they're not here. Guess what? You're not worth here. It's not worth me wasting my time arguing with you because you're irrelevant. When you treat them as such, then guess what? Now they come begging for you.
Yeah,
when you start to control where you live at,
facts.
Hey man, we got this house over here. We need to check to see whether it's structurally sound. So if it is, then we can turn it into a community house. But somebody, if it is, we can go over there and fix it up, turn it into a community house so that if somebody needs this place to stay, they go, just don't tear it up. That's the rule. And then your rent is making sure that the grounds are straight. Keep it clean. Make sure ain't no trash. Cut the grass. Because we are not rebuilding the community. We're not rebuilding humanity. My apologies. We're not reusing our community and our communal values to rebuild humanity in each other anymore.
I like that.
Yeah, put that on a shirt.
For sure.
Trevor, hook it up.
Yeah, we got to rebuild because that's what we missing back then. Because just think how the neighbor, you listen, I was here when Flint, I was here even though I was, my age, it was still, Flint was still decent when I was coming up. All the high schools were still full.
Everybody rocking. Everybody.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was over 100,000 people here. Even with the white flight, it was more like majority black had took over. It was still over. We were still up there. It's just where we at now. I get mad at like fires with us. I'm talking about the black community. What I get mad why we don't have like I see any other community because we're not a community like you say like any other group of people.
Because what those group of people have done is say we're going to build this area and take this area in our best interest. And what we've been told and shown and done is you go out and you go and integrate into somebody else's community that doesn't want you.
Facts.
So instead of turning our community into a place where people want to come, we've run away from our community and decided I'm going to go live over here. I'm going to go live over there. And it's in righteous indignation, right? Mm-hmm. So instead of saying I'm going to stay here and fight and help rebuild my community and do this, that, the other, and go, oh, we got a little, because see, up the street from where I live at is a little place that's formerly, it is still owned, I guess, by the Jehovah's Witnesses. It used to use it as a place where they meet at. I would love to have that place to teach out of. It's a unit for Flint Community Schools. It was a property at one time of Scott School, right? I'd love to have that to do some work out of. Then I can take my library out of the house, part of it, out of the house, and go put it up there. Then people can come and start learning, or we could, whatever. Set up another satellite to broadcast out of there. I don't care. No, I had to figure out, and I don't know, probably because people of that faith or whatever may not want to give it away or let me buy it or whatever, because that's what they use it as a small kingdom hall or whatever. Okay, that's fine, not a problem. Are you willing to give the property up so I can use it for building community? Hey, you hungry? Come and eat. Now, meanwhile, while you sitting down having dinner, you're going to be listening to Malcolm. You're going to be listening to Marcus Garvey. You're going to be listening to this type of music. You're going to be listening to, smoke, dope, drink. You ain't listening to none of that. Don't even bring it here. If that's how you coming, you're not welcome. Now, once you come and do it my way, you can listen to that over there, but over here, this is what we listen to. Now, this last statement that Ms. Corbett said, there was a community that used to take abandoned apartment buildings, and the community took their own resources, right, and sweat equity to renovate them and move people to them through their investment. Absolutely. We can do that. It's
Oh,
not hard.
facts.
That's not hard. It's not like people don't have tools and things in their possession that they could go do that with. It can be done. And it's not difficult. We have to put the time in. I don't understand how, and I'm saying this to both men and women, how in the hell are you going to lay up with each other, produce a child, and not put no time, energy, and effort into that child together? You created the child together. Urban homesteading program. Okay, I'm going to make sure I write that down. So, therefore, why would you not reinvest or invest in your community as well? This is not difficult. You're not going to go get, I'm not sure. Maybe you can help me out. I remember the late brother Quincy uh, Murphy, who had, he had a building, right? A small building that they would rent out or borrow tools. Is that still available?
I, you know what I'm thinking it is, or did they run out of funding? I think it still is. I ain't for sure. I think it's. I can't really give you all on,
Okay.
but I think they still
But
got it.
he was the one I know that had that, right? Now, but the fact that it's there in the community for community use means I have to trust you to bring it back. I mean, bring it. I need that back by next week. And I'm not gonna. Why should I'm not? Why should I have to track you? You know, because what we've been reduced to, going back to the Willie Lynch letter, is we've been reduced to the lowest level of who we are, right? Even when we talked about in ancient Kemet, where they had the statues, one of the Pharaoh and one of Set, and then the other one of Haru, your higher self and your lower self. So therefore, if we drug, thug, sexual, who hypersexualize ourselves into our higher, lower self, then we never find our higher self. We never search for our higher self. It's like, oh, I had to go through drugs and rock and roll and all this other stuff in order for me to find God when God was already there all the whole time. You don't have to do that. You chose to do that. I don't know anybody with all of the stuff that's happened with people in the world on drugs, doing drugs, and even with people doing stuff to people, unfortunately, behind their back without their knowledge. If you knowingly are going to do something, don't you know that there is going to be a cause and effect that goes with it? One of the greatest horror writers ever in the world, Edgar Allan Poe, used to do cocaine and then write. And before him, H.P. Lovecraft was even weirder. But what I'm saying is, don't we know the effects of these substances? Oh, I ain't gonna get caught. I'm gonna try it one time. That's the dumbest lie that the drug is telling you in the first place, that you think you're stronger than this drug, and you're not.
Facts.
You're not. So therefore, we're being bombarded with something else even more. Oh, I'm gonna try this and I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna do. Why? What are you running from? Oh, that might be an issue too, because you're running from some stuff that is your lower self stuff, and we're not coming to terms and grips with the things because we think we're supposed to be equal to somebody else and supposed to have the same thing that other people have, and they're not going to give it to you. So why not take it? But take it in your community. Take it in your community. If I'm clear that the person that's supposed to be representative of where I live at, where we live at, oh, you still live over there. Yeah, your spot's still over there. I'm gonna still keep a spot for you over there around the corner from you, big bro.
Mhm.
It's not doing anything for people over there. How come I can't get myself in a group of people to go knock on doors and what you need? How
For
can we
sure.
help? How can we help? We need you. You showing us that you don't care about what we doing over here anyway. Or somebody grass need to be cut, man. Let's go grab another lawnmower and go over there and hook it up.
That I will get it. Quincy Murphy, that I'm not gonna lie. In the hood, and I'm
Yeah.
talking about the hood, fires over there on Wesley and all up and down that in that area, Quincy really did. Like listen,
Yeah.
this before he was on council.
This was before. That's right. It was before he was
Before
on
he was on
council.
council. I've
Yep.
been watching Quincy over there on Moore Street, fires the park up there. Quincy been doing that. Like, I didn't agree with I didn't agree with all his politics, and we was family. Cousins. I didn't agree with his politics, just how I roll. Some of the stuff he did speak on, it was probably 5% of what I agreed with what he did. Dewey Park, thank you, Carolyn Hendricks. Now, but I've been seeing that because it's another spot. If you from the hood, you understand what we used to call the area was called Homeboy Park.
Yep.
But basically what it was a house was knocked down. It was gone. It was just empty lot where everybody used to go hang at. So if you from over there, you'll know what I'm talking about. And he even kept that area together. We'll go over there and cut the grass when people would be like I said, a lot of stuff I will give him from over in the hood. He was there.
Right. And so how hard is it to do it again? Now, the issue that we have is people can't we boisterous people, and this is being African, where we bumping each other and physical and all this and that and others, but it doesn't have to turn violent and horrible. Where we can go to a place, we can laugh and joke and party, whatever, have fun, drink, do a little smoking, keep it cool, enjoy yourself, and enjoy it. Not have to turn it into, oh, well, now I got to go get him because of this, and got to go get that person because of that, all this other stuff. No, and you're right, Miss Corbett. If we don't, we're dying in the matrix. Why the hell not try something different? And you're right. They did have a program here where if the house was still decently up to code, you had a period of time where you could buy it and rent it and then rehab it, and then you're right, for $1 or so, and then rehab it, and you could live there. And I think it was 3 to 5 years you could live in it, and then and it would become your home. But I know a case with a sister I used to work with who gave this house, who rented this house, and they destroyed her house completely. For what? Why? What was the point? You didn't have no point. You're being reckless and out of order, and because this is the whole point of the exercise is to be undisciplined, to be reckless, to be out of order. So then when they come and corral you and throw you in a cage like an animal, you're okay with that. You're fine with that. Terrible property that I let you use because you needed it, and you sat up there and lied to me and told me you're gonna keep up with it. Then when I say when stuff is not in order, then you get indignant and angry because I'm asking you to fix what you messed up and you shouldn't have. You came to me. I didn't come to you and say, hey man, you need a spot. You came to me. Well, are you renting this spot for rent? So, yeah. No, better yet, you take it's gonna be for you to own. Well, I don't know about owning it. Okay, well then all I'm asking you to do is take care of it the way I would. How hard is that? It's not that difficult. We just don't want to do it. We don't want to do it. So it's better for me to wreck it and tear it up than it is for me to live decently in it and take care of it. Because I don't want to do that. That's too much work. That's way too much work. Way too much work. And it shouldn't be. But what we want to do is, Like I couldn't believe that the sister had to go through trying to rehab this place where they completely destroyed it. And then they're gonna go somewhere else and somebody because of money and not righteousness, they're gonna let them rent and they're gonna destroy that. Because if this is what your MO is, and I don't care, I'm 62. The few elders of my father's and mother's age would be in their late 80s, 90s. I had last summer somebody come by my house. They didn't say Mr. McCants, they say, boy, you need to cut it. When I heard the voice, I didn't even get mad. I didn't get mad. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I'm getting ready to get out here. Hot. Hot day. Nope. Had that grass cut when we come back. I'm grown with children. And I wasn't, you can't tell me what to do. Well, now, what am I gonna do that for? See, that's what we've done, right? We're so protective of nothing. And I'm not saying that they're not bad people out there. I'm not saying that they're not bad spirited people out there. But you should be discerning of them, just like y'all supposed to be discerning of all this other stuff you say you're discerning of. There are bad spirited people out there. But at the same time, if somebody's correcting your child out of love, or I'm being corrected out of love, what am I gonna get mad for when this person tell me I don't know how your mom and daddy kept it, so you better tighten up? What am I get mad about that for? Because you can't tell me what to do. How many people got children? You have babies, right? You got babies, big bro.
To me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got 3 of them.
You got 3 children.
Yeah.
When they were little, and they cried, what'd you do? You had to get up and go see what was going on, right? So somebody's telling you what to do all the time. What you going? Now, some people are crazy enough to have a child and then want to destroy the child because they're insane. There's a problem. They shouldn't have had kids in the first place. But I'm talking about right people in their right mind. If the child cries, you get up and find out what's going on. You got to create, but so therefore, what Miss Corbett's talking about, if you never had anything, people, okay, I agree to a small degree, but on the other part about that is people have always had something to take care of, and so therefore, they took care of some, whether it was toys, and people taught them how to take care of toys. So if they were taught how to take care of toys, they can be taught how to take care of a house. It shouldn't. It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. But people got to want to do it. They got to want to do better, and they got to want to be better. I don't understand how in the world and that we created civilization that we want to be the trash part of it now, and it's okay to be trash.
You got a point there.
We build pyramids that stand over 15, 20 years that they've been trying to destroy and whitewash, and now all of a sudden the only thing we want to do is be decadent. We built a country not by our choice, and everybody has made money off of it, but yet we want to be decadent.
Because we still think. I think our problem is that. Mm,
Because it's more okay, I'm gonna say it, listen to the language. It's more funner.
mhm. Mm-hmm.
It's more funner and it's more irresponsible. So when I have children, I don't have to be responsible for them. I'll just pop them out and keep it moving. Y'all figure it out.
But you know what that comes from, though, right? That's that. But see, that's remnants of slavery when
Let's
you had.
see. This is the end of the. See, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
We can't talk about anything moving forward unless we go back and address the stuff that happened to us in the past.
Yeah, because they don't want to address. You got to think.
You know why? Let me tell you why.
Come on with it.
Let me tell you why. Because people, I don't want to be angry, but you want to keep on getting your ass whooped. Which one you want?
No, they don't want to. They don't want to talk about.
Please.
Yeah, I'm saying about because that is, as far as you had. See, they don't want to talk about the sex plantations. They don't want to talk about far as you were breeded, like you said. They took babies and used it from alligator bait.
Right.
You were breeded.
Right.
For basically, you was like the plantation. Like, so I'm using General Motors as a metaphor.
Well, that's the why you think they call it a plant.
Facts. But that's what when they had these plantations, what you think they had breeding farms?
Yeah.
They was breeding because they needed workers for the field.
So let me give y'all a real quick bit of history.
Lay it on them.
And then, we'll end it on that note.
For sure. They can get ready for Tuesday. We're gonna be the most hated probably.
Man, I love it. I love it.
After these
I want
fraternities.
you to bring it on, bro. Bring it on, because I'm not telling you any lies. 1804, Haitian Revolution. 1808, the United States says, okay, we're going to outlaw the importation of any people from out of the country anymore. So we're not bringing it because African people learn that, hey, they won, they beat the French, and they got the word over to Africa that, in the African countries and Caribbean countries, now we can win, we can beat them. We have the tactics to beat them. Created maroon societies, all of this, everything, right? Mm-hmm. Maroon societies were societies that people ran away and created guerrilla warfare tactics.
Mm-hmm.
Now, from 1808 to 1863, a period of 50-something years, now you grow this population from 6 to 9 million to 19 million. How do you grow it? Not only do you have sex plantations, but you also got any opportunity. And this is where you really, truly start to implement the Willie Lynch syndrome, even more so, because now you're controlling the population. You're doing experiments on men, women, and children. You're doing all this other stuff. Sister Taliba talked about one of the sisters talked about how they develop anesthesia through being on the plantation, and the doc, and then he's giving this, but he destroyed these women's lives, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna address Sister Akil in a second. All right. Yeah, I got you. Today at noon, we on. So from 1808 to 1863. You're creating a group of people that you're doing social experiments on, and they never have stopped. But we've learned how to trust them.
That's a fact.
Because we've been taught by the leaders that were chosen, and I'm saying it, and I don't care how mad you all are, look at the evidence that we want to sit at the same table. Now I want to build my own table and eat from my own table. Marcus Garvey, Martin Delaney, David Walker. Okay. Those are people y'all need to go check out too. But we want to sit at the table. Why am I going to sit at a table that you don't? Why the hell am I going to go to a place to sit down and eat at a lunch counter and you don't want me there? Why not build my own?
Right.
We had a place on Saginaw Street in Beecher that used to serve these breakfasts.
The Zone, wasn't it?
Well, I think that's the name of it. You get a full breakfast for $3, and you full for the day. 3 eggs, lard, 2. 5, 6 pieces of bacon or turkey bacon, whichever one you wanted, half a loaf of toast. Frick, for about $5? Big old half-gallon cup of orange juice. You eat off that for breakfast and lunch, and it's closed because you want to go to the Coney Island that serve it for $2, but serve you less
For
because we
sure.
don't have an understanding. It's like when Sister McGee and her husband opened up this store on Lippincott, right by the beauty place, and because it didn't sell liquor anymore, and they were selling wholesome, clean stuff, more expensive because it's an independent, but people would, I ain't going in there, stuff costs too much. No, you wasn't going in there no more because they pulled the alcohol out. Because alcohol too, or drinking alcohol, especially in that consumption, was done but on the plantation because you wanted to continue to make people docile.
Facts.
See, so if we're not exploring all of the horrors of slavery,
Facts.
all the horrors of this system, we still become incomplete. And white people, you got to study too.
Yeah.
You got to study it too. You don't sit around there. Well, it doesn't bother me. Yes, it does because you benefit from the system.
Right.
Now, I ain't talking about hate nobody. I said study.
Study.
And if you think that you don't benefit from the system, you're sadly mistaken. If you think that there's not a purposeful one group superior, one group inferior, done on purpose by design, one group you keep that community tore up and insane, and another group of people you keep as nice and neat and you don't benefit from them, judges, lawyers, doctors, no matter what, they live over here. But yeah, they tell you wherever you live at, this is how we operate. So I used to have a cousin that used to live, big brother that lived in Grand Blanc before they moved to down south, and he told us when I went to visit, "Hey man, we can't. They told us after 10 o'clock, shut that party down." Huh? You pay how much money for this? $350,000, and you can't have no. But we gotta. Oh, okay. That's them dictating to you what it is that you should do here in their community. But yet, when we in our community, we want to get up, roar, fight, have gunfights at the OK Corral because you telling me how to order myself. You can't tell me what to do. See, that's that no longer having a village. And then when the children are out of order, and we over here talking about now we got to have a rally and a peace march for violence and this and that and other, which I'm glad they had it. But who let the kids get out of order? Why are the children out of order? Well, look at what they're listening to. And even if listening to it, what are you putting? What are you having them compare it to? How are they hearing the dialogue in your house? So if they're hearing a dialogue in your house, it's okay to do what's it called? Guns, drugs, and rock and roll, or whatever, however you got it, in your house, and hear it come from you. What do they have to compare it to?
Fact.
Nothing. If they're hearing intelligent conversations, dialogue, debates that talk about who they are, their culture, all this other stuff, then they have to. I ain't got to go up there and you might tick me off, but man, I just stay away from them.
Facts.
Not you killed brother such and such, and he live on this street. We killing people for a street and the color you don't own. You're not killing each other for, hey man, you broke into my house. We just gonna go out and ride by and shoot such and such because he stepped on such and such shoes. They're a pair of shoes. I almost said it. They're a pair of shoes. Go get another pair. Clean them up.
Yeah, rough out here.
But because we're out of order.
Yep.
We're out of order. And if we were in order, yep, you're right. I got that book. I got it. I'm gonna start reading it. But if we were in order, then, and we can start to be in order,
Mm-hmm.
they're no longer preaching liberation in church.
Mm-mm.
The only person I know that might speak on some things like that is Reverend Threlkill. And yes, I'm throwing your name out there, big bro, if you're listening.
Reverend Threlkill.
Right. But yet, all of these other groups of brothers or whatever, they ain't out there. They're not. If you're going to stop preaching this. Oh, God. This is you talking about waiting to heaven. Meanwhile, everybody else is getting to heaven here. You got to die to go to heaven. Meanwhile, your community and your church place is in chaos.
Rough, ain't it?
You're in chaos. And we're supposed to just be, oh yeah, no, go ahead. Yeah. Nothing happened actionable after that because they had a church service instead of sitting up there having a call to action. I have no issue with praying. I'm a praying man. I promise you all I am. It don't sound like it because y'all think cursing and cussing is the same thing. It's not. Go study again. And what day is holy? Any damn day I wake up is holy. The hell? But anyway, if you're not going to have a call to action by the places where we propagate the most, then what are you there for?
Right.
What are you there for? You got too much work to do. Sister Corbett, and I know you probably have this book on your bookshelf. Get Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. Get that book and it tells you everything. Get Miseducation of Negro by Dr. Carter G. Woodson. Look it up and get him. Those two books, if you don't have them on your bookshelf, put them on there. You probably do, knowing you look like you're well read. I like that. Don't worry. If I come to DC knocking on your door talking about I'm crashing here for the weekend because of the conference, don't say nothing. The first place I want to go to is the library. I'm telling you that right now. But I'm gonna give a final, word thought, and then we're gonna let y'all go and enjoy my baby. That's what's up. And then look, family, we gotta stop worrying about this so-called leadership. It is not leadership. Leadership starts with looking in the mirror. If there's areas in the community in which you live that need some assistance, man, put out a call to order to the people around. Because it ain't like young people don't want to learn stuff and learn stuff and do stuff. I had somebody there, hey man, we'll wash your car. It's hot, bro. I'm not having you out here. These two little dudes, man, little bitty dudes. They couldn't have been no more than 10, 11. Riding their bike. We'll wash your car for $5. No, but I'm gonna catch you the next time, and I'm gonna teach you some things. And here's the tools, and I'm gonna teach you. They over there the other day, but next door neighbor cutting grass. Hot yesterday. They out there trying to hustle. I like that.
I respect them.
I can respect that. They're not trying to get into no stuff. I don't know what they're gonna do with their money, but I can respect that. So next time I catch them little cats in this cooler, come on, man, wash the car. Here's the vacuum cleaner. Here's the soap. Wash it up. I don't care if you do it. The whole point of the fact that you have the incentive and the desire to do something is more than enough for me.
Facts.
And then later on, I can teach you how to do it. I'm not going to work you to death. That's unfair. Y'all little dudes. Now, I am going to put you to work, though, because I'm going to teach you some things as well. And on that note, family, we'll see y'all on Tuesday. 5 o'clock, right?
Oh, come on, 5 o'clock now. We might be the most hated man after 5 o'clock, but
bring it. Because if I'm lying,
no, you ain't lying. It's just we finna bust up some of these sororities and fraternities.
No, we're just gonna tell them where they come from and how they attach to something else.
Yeah, and then they're gonna be mad.
Well, but you should have investigated what you were doing before you got into it. I mean,
no, I'm with you.
I didn't, but the one that I'm involved in is I see a lot more social, outside social work going on. That's the only reason why. One of the reasons why I joined them. Not that we could all sit down and have the conversation like this. Some of us can, some of us can't.
Facts.
But
y'all be ready for Tuesday. Conspiracy Tuesdays.
Yep. Truthful Tuesday.
Truthful Tuesday.
Conspiracy. 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, fam. But I'm gonna be here at 4:30 talking junk in the live till you get here.
You know what? Again, let me apologize for being 2 minutes late.
Don't worry about that.
No, man, no. Because if you can be here, I can get my tail moving and be here too. Time wasted.
Peace, fam.
Peace, fam. Thank you.
Yeah.